Okay, so in this segment, we're going to be talking about the UK setting to basically scrap the plans for a Galileo rival. And so some officials are believed to have said that they want the government to return to the EU satellite program, which is Galileo, Project Galileo. So this is really embarrassing. So the government has formally scrapped Theresa May's plans for a British version of the GPS satellite navigation program, leading to parts of Whitehall now pushing for the UK to rejoin the EU's Galileo system. The UK Space Agency is expected to announce in the coming days that it has terminated GNSS project, which Miss May put £92 million worth of taxpayer funds into. And so there's a lot of money being wasted here. And so the actual rival, to get it, I think to get it all fully set up would have cost about £5 billion to have this whole thing done, which is crazy amounts of money. And it probably would have been over budget, knowing the way the UK officials spend money, and it wouldn't have worked as well either, because that's the nature of this country. I don't know what's happened, but can't get much to work, especially not with our guys in charge. We don't even have a working track and trace system, but that's another video for another day. So, under a reset of Britain's space ambitions, the agency is now poised to examine alternatives for a sovereign positioning system, including deploying satellites from OneWeb, the bankrupt space company the government is paying 400 million to rescue. So now we're relying on a company that nearly went bankrupt. That literally, I think they only survived insolvency because the government bailed them out, and that's embarrassing that we've had to bail out this company, and we had to bail out this company and they can't even do what we need them to do, which is it's just a horrible situation to be in, to be honest. Multiple options are understood in the consideration. Civil servants and parts of the industry have pushed for the UK to reset and revive talks on joining the EU's Galileo system, which Britain was froze out of during the Brexit negotiations. We froze ourselves out of those. Okay, don't blame the EU for this one. This was on our own. We thought we could do this on our own. We opted out of this, and if we don't get a deal, then we're not going to be in the Galileo system. So I don't know what that means for satnavs in general. So I don't know if it'll mean much, but I think we'll be out of the running for development. Substantial differences have emerged within government about the merits of investing in OneWeb. UKSA officials, I don't know who that is, and experts have disparaged the idea of repurposing the company's broadband satellites to build a location system, saying that they could suffer from signal interference and could not carry the heavy atomic clocks needed for accurate time signals. This is something I covered in a separate video, not with that kind of detail, but just saying that the satellites that OneWeb make are not fit for the satellites that we need. I think we need satellites in lower Earth orbit, and they go higher Earth orbit, something like that. Research on a British equivalent to Galileo and America's GPS system, which would have used heavier orbit satellites, have estimated to cost between 3 and 5 billion. The UKSA has been winding down industry contracts in recent weeks. I think that means UK satellite alternative. Alternatives to OneWeb could include a regional approach using geostationary satellites, which could be cheaper since few satellites would be needed to cover a portion of Earth's surface, that probably just covering us, the UK. Accurate and secure positioning programs are seen as being of increasing national importance due to technology such as autonomous cars and boats, as well as foreign governments and criminals exploit the vulnerabilities of GPS. Something I didn't know. Several British companies have been involved in developing Galileo before the European Space Agency has moved abroad after Article 50 was invoked. The UK has agreed to take a 45% stake in OneWeb, which entered bankruptcy in March in a joint venture with India's Bharti Global. I think that's probably how you not pronounce it. But what we can gather from this article, we'll finish reading, and then I'll give some analysis. A spokesman from the Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy said the government's money burning program, that's not what it says, the government has set a clear ambition for a sovereign space program, but the thing is, the thing costs 3 to 5 billion. And that's something we have to maintain on our own, especially when the program that is Galileo works, it's Europe wide. If anything happens to it, then you have a massive pool of countries to help resolve any issues, whether that be through money and through expertise. But we are limiting ourselves here greatly. Having a sovereign space program which will bring long-term strategic and commercial benefits for the UK, like what? Work is ongoing across government to determine the UK's positioning, navigation and timing requirements, and assessing options for meeting them. The UK will not participate in the EU's Galileo program. Current OneWeb satellites are used to deliver satellite communication services, not satellite navigation. And so I don't know what this means for sat navs in the future, but what we can tell from this is the fact that the the government can't do. We can't do it on our own. We can't do this program. It's going to cost about 3 to 5 billion. Knowing the way the country's going, with our lack of expertise and the fact that the senior civil servants are getting kicked out left, right, and centre, I would probably put that figure far higher, especially when we've already invested money into a company that doesn't do the satellites we need. And so we've essentially left the EU, and I think this might be, you could try and argue that by joining the EU, the UK has become lazy when it comes to things like this, but the UK hasn't been a leader in R&D for a very, very long time, research and development for a very long time, and, you know, a lot of the things that we make just typically break. And so, you know, by us joining, we are far more reliant on the EU than I realised, in terms of, you know, relying on them to come up with and help us to develop these programs. It's a joint venture, but obviously no country can really do this on their own. The US being an exception because it's such a big country with such a big GDP, you know, and top class universities that can deal with, you know, tech and things like that. But with the UK, obviously we have a massive knowledge base, but we don't have the sort of funds that other countries like the US have in order to do with this. Or a country like China was incredibly authoritarian, and they can force, you know, people to go into certain areas and teach certain things in schools that we don't have that openness to do in this country. But what we can see from this is the UK have, you know, we could argue it's a good thing that if we've realised we need the Galileo program, because we could have, instead of wasting, you know, hundreds of millions of pounds, we could be looking at in the billions, which would be a far bigger waste of taxpayer money. So you know, I don't know if this is a blessing in a slight way, because the government have taken a back step and you know, are going to maybe join the Galileo program. What that means is that you have more leverage in negotiations now. That's what that really means. The UK have far more negotiations. I don't know what this means for the future of satellite navigation in the UK. My area of expertise is not that. I'm not that kind of nerd. But I'm going to wrap this video up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.